Welcome to another exciting edition of Leading Ladies TV. I am on location today, very excited, and I'd like to introduce you to two very special guests, Fee and Risha from Coffee4Craig.
Hi.
And welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So, the Fee and Risha have the most incredible story to share about making life happen. Crikey, they're such an inspiration. And as always on Leading Ladies TV, I will just ask and invite them to share your story.
I think it started, I had a brother, Craig, and he died. He was homeless and he was on the streets. There was lots of reasons why he was homeless, but he ended up in a car park and that's where he died. The last time I saw him was about a month before, where we were chatting and I'd taken him out for a meal. There were reasons why. I was up here in Manchester, Craig was in Cardiff, and he'd said, "Oh, I want to start a family business," and then he died, basically. And we didn't want him to die in vain. We didn't want him to be just another person who's died and just to be like, "Oh, do you remember Craig? He's dead." And so
it was. I don't believe personally. I don't believe in God or there being a God-like being in charge or in control of the universe and the decisions that we make. I believe in the universe and the power of people and the power of the universe, and like attracts like, and we both come from kind of, and it was as if that was just a calling. It was a way for us to celebrate Craig's life, although unfortunately for that to happen he had to pass, but he hasn't passed in vain. His life has not become nothing.
I love this. And so you were stood there and you said, let's buy a coffee for Craig. But it's turned out much more than that. That was the moment, hasn't it? What happened from that moment when you decided you wanted to do something? Because
he was on the street, there's a whole world that we don't know about. And you kind of blinkered, and then all of a sudden it's like in Harry Potter, I've said, where you go out into the marketplace and you suddenly see this whole world that's there that you didn't actually realise was there. So all of a sudden it's like a veil comes out of your eyes and you suddenly see this whole world that's there that you didn't actually realise was there, but it's a world that needs intervention, it's a world that needs help. So Craig had a family outside of his family. He had people that he helped and people that he spoke to and people that he was with day in, day out. But in order for them to celebrate his life and to say goodbye to him, they couldn't go to a normal wake. So it started, our very first project was a wake for Craig, a celebration of his life. We wanted to do a meal for him. So we created the Facebook page, didn't we?
On the 6th, it was 3 days after his passing, we decided that we were going to take direct action. And that was, for me, I'm a bit of an activist. I'm a bit of a direct action person. I like to... our biggest question and my biggest kind of ethos is always and has been, can I find a reason not to do something? And if that reason isn't good enough, then I will do it. And our reasoning was we wanted to celebrate Craig's street family, because sometimes your family away from your blood family is far bigger, far more important, and far more needed for your needs than your blood family could ever provide for you. And we wanted to make sure that we could pay them back and say thank you.
Yeah. say thank you and give them something as well. So we did a meal. That was our idea, and then it turned out that Craig went to a church that did an outreach, and they wanted, so we kind of got together with them and we provided food, and there was just a big party basically to celebrate his life. And that was the very first Coffee for Craig.
First Coffee for Craig event.
Yeah. And then we came back here and we kind of just carried it on really. We were, well, what can we do now? So we went out into the streets of Manchester giving people coffee and buying McDonald's and giving them sandwiches, and
it got too expensive.
Yeah, it did get very expensive.
It got too expensive.
To people, and we were updating the Facebook page and saying what we'd done, and people started messaging us and people started getting on board, and it just kind of just snowballed, didn't it really?
All these amazing characters came out of the woodworks of Greater Manchester, out of this ether from all over. Just all these souls came crashing into Manchester Piccadilly and found us and decided that they too wanted to help. They had this calling, but they just never had it awoken in them. And by us creating a Facebook page, by us making that decision on that day, 3 days after his death, by creating that meal after his funeral, had awoken something in them, and they'd seen that, they'd become inspired, they'd realised that their blinkers had come off. They could see homeless people on the streets, they could see the poverty and the injustice that was surrounding them, and instead of taking to Facebook and moaning and complaining and, you know, doing all those things that so many other people do, they decided to join us, take direct action and go out there and do something positive and do something about those people that needed help. And now we're a family.
It is phenomenal though, isn't it? Because I know that you went onto the streets of Manchester next and you were buying, and then you were starting to gather this family. But it's only 18 months, 2 years ago, and now how many people are you feeding a week?
500?
Probably. Plus, we do 3 street kitchens a week on Piccadilly, where people come and they can get fed and they can have a drink of coffee and stuff, obviously. And you have families come, you have people in poverty come, you have children come, all sorts of different people come. So that's why we don't judge, we just give, because you don't know what people are going through, you don't know what people need, so we just give. And now we've started a food bank, so people will know someone who may be in poverty, and they can get in touch with us, and then we can give them a food parcel. And people are giving us things like Tesco's cards, gift cards, that we can either go out and buy the food that we need for the food bank, or we can just give it to a family who's in need, and then they can do their own shopping, because, you know,
it's independence.
Yeah.
Independence.
Yeah.
It's
and
absolutely
allowing people to create their own destiny and make their own choices. And choice is the biggest thing.
And gas and electric, we can people give us money in the account to be able to give people that. And
so we do that, but we also we've housed almost 70 people now. We've worked with over 100 people that have been at various stages of either food poverty, homelessness, rough sleeping. We go into schools now and we do motivational speeches with kids. We pass on and raise awareness with children. We get them building cardboard box houses. We get them creating artwork. You know, some of the pictures on the Facebook page are just so inspiring, and this is only from the feedback that we've been given, and we like to pass the message on.
Yeah,
is the key.
It's about opening your eyes to the world around you, and how you can help the world around you, and how you can look at your neighbour and say, do you need a hand? Do you need me to do anything?
Do you know what? I think you've just reminded me of my biggest thought that goes through my mind whenever I hear somebody judge somebody, and I always think, the only time I ever want to look down on someone is when my hand is out and I'm helping them up.
Oh, that's lovely. You girls
and that's
are,
Coffee4Craig.
yeah, you really, really are phenomenal. We've only got a couple of minutes left on this. I just want to it sounds a strange question to say how have you done it, because I can see it's your passion and your determination, but you've really had to learn how to run a business in a way, getting the food in, supporting all these people. How have you done it?
Learn by mistake. Never be afraid to ask for help. Always, 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 if you do make a mistake, put your hands up to it and then say, how can I do it better next time?
And I think as well, just do it. Just do it, because you can. Because when you put your mind to it, you can do anything. And once you realise that, once you believe that, then you know you can, and then it happens. Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
It's just so, it's so empowering once one thing goes right. You just think, if that's gone right, what else is going to go right?
But not only that, when things go wrong, it's about knowing that they will go right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's not gone wrong, you've just learnt a way not to do it.
Absolutely. Nothing goes wrong. Everything goes wrong for a reason.
Yeah.
It's never just something that's just gone wrong.
You've just learnt a different way to do things, you just, instead of you go, oh, I'm not going to go down that path, I'll go down that path instead. And
I just love you two. I just think you're absolutely fantastic. How many people, one parting thing before I want to move on to just what the vision is next, how many people do you think you've helped with Coffee4Craig?
I wouldn't like to say, because I think if I underestimated it, I'd be selling it short. Because Coffee4Craig is its own being now. We've inspired it, we've driven it, we've pushed it and pushed it and pushed it and pushed it. But I also wouldn't want to overthink it, because we haven't thought about anything that we've done really, and that's another big key. Is don't overthink it, because the minute you lay there thinking about what could go wrong, every eventuality of what if I don't make, we don't make money from this, so it is a business. Eventually we would like a wage, but that's not our priority right now. No. Right now is, let's create this organisation, this family, this new revolution of
I think
people.
Once you start bringing money into, I think money's an illusion, and I think the actual reality is the help, and the people are the reality. Money, you can lose money, you can make money, it can go here and it can go there, and I know it's nice to have money, but it's an illusion. It's the people and the help and the tangible things that you can hold on to, and the feeling that it gives you, and the feeling that other people can have. And it's just, how can someone come to you and say help, please, and not try? You wouldn't. We say this a lot. Yeah. You wouldn't let a dog on the street. You put it in the dog zone and you feed it. A dog.
Our biggest thing is we always ask the question: is there something that we can't do? What is there a reason why we cannot help this person? And the answer is always no.
It's fantastic. You're amazing. You started off in your dining room with the idea of let's go and give out some coffee for Craig. You're now giving out, feeding over 500 people a week, 3 times a week in Manchester City Centre. That's besides the food parcels that you're sending out and people that you're finding accommodation for. It is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And it's come, by the sounds of it, you've just kept on going and kept on going and kept on going, never quite knowing where you're ending up. Have you got a little vision for where you'd like to take this next?
Yes, we would like the ability to be able to fund a community building. We would like a community building that rough sleepers can access 24/7. So they're out, they're sleeping rough. They just can't tolerate it anymore. They don't want it anymore. So they can come in, they can get a shower, they can get a bed for the night. We'd like during the day for community groups to be able to come in and use that building. We'd like internet access. We'd like just a hub, a real central community hub in the middle of the city that's just an oasis of calm and welcoming, non-judgmental ethos as you walk through the door. And
for anyone.
Yeah, for anyone.
Well, ladies, I think if anybody can make it happen, you can make it happen. I invited you onto this show because I just think you're a complete inspiration for what you've gone and done. It's from the heart, everything. And I know you give a lot of your time and energy to it. So congratulations on everything you've achieved.
Thank you.
And I'm sure you've inspired some people watching today. If anybody wants to check it out, any of it, it's Coffee4Craig. That's coffee for the number 4 Craig. But I'll put all that detail with the interview. So thank you very much. I really appreciate you for being here. Another inspiring interview with Leading Ladies TV.